Kumar Jain, who's the former DGP of Uttar Pradesh, and also Mr. Chintan Vasani, Director, BD Vasani Group. Mr. Jain, I'll come to you first. We were talking about the legalities of this particular case. Like my colleague Akash also was just about mentioning, the legal tangle has been of many years, 9 years to be in particular. It's the Supreme Court ordered demolition, but the residents had to wait 9 years. Remember, this was supposed to be a children's park on which this twin tower is right now standing. 2:30 is when it comes down. However, this exemplary order is going to be something that will be in the books. It would be actually taken back into account whenever we talk about a bureaucrat, politician, or for that matter, an administration nexus.
It has taken a very, very long time. Naturally, it has taken a very long time, and everybody is watching it with a lot of curiosity as to what will be the final judgment. Finally, in 2021, Supreme Court delivered the judgment, but 9 years naturally is a long period, and people have been waiting, people have been fighting. RWA of Emerald Court has been fighting, going to Allahabad for Pairwee and Supreme Court. It's not an easy job fighting against a builder, such a big builder and development authority. So, in my opinion, to prevent such cases of corruption in future, investigation should be handed over to CBI, and all those who are guilty should be punished.
Absolutely, Mr. Jain. In fact, why should they be hiding behind just a name, behind just Supertech? Why not name and shame those people? Because 9 years, the residents have had to suffer. Whenever somebody goes ahead and buys a house, there are certain promises that the builder really goes ahead and gives them. The promise of a green patch, for that matter, which has turned into a twin tower right behind me. This monstrosity of a building is something that people have had to look at, and now they're having to get worried for their houses. Once this comes down, why should people have to suffer so much money? They invest in a house, their dream house, which they think would be part of their retirement project, for that matter.
It is very, very unfortunate that people are losing faith in the development authority. Noida authority is a very old authority, a reputed one, and Apex Court has called it a corrupt body. This is actually very, very, very disturbing. People naturally will lose faith. If they lose faith in development authority, how can they have faith in the builders? Because who are indulging in all sorts of illegal practices. Green area, the 32-story and 28-story buildings have come up. This is one of the biggest scandals of free India, and very drastic action is required in such a case, so that in future,
right,
no
Mr.
builder.
Jain.
Yes.
So right. I'll also take this to Mr. Chintan Vasani, who's also a member of the National Real Estate Development Council. Mr. Vasani, your thoughts. Now that in another 1.5 hours, these twin towers are going to come down. But we have to talk about the trials and tribulations of the people who stay around. 5,000 odd people who would have to leave their houses because of this demolition. We do not know what is going to happen to their houses, although they are going to be safe is what we are hoping. But we are here talking about a 32 and 29 floor, these towers that are going to come crashing down. What will happen after the implosion? Nobody knows.
100% Griha. I think I stay 1200 kilometers away from the site, but I am sure entire India, and I was just going to CNN TV 18, someone said entire world who has investments into India is looking towards this particular situation. UP government and the entire government, everyone has set a good example today, and short-term sigh of relief, of course, would come after at 4:30 when the 5 people who are inside and around this particular explosion, once they are out. Of course, the long-term sigh of relief, as you truly said, the moment 700, I think 850 flats is what will be affected by this particular thing. The moment they get their own houses will be the sigh of relief for everyone. And this would set a right example for the real estate industry and everyone. And I think the authorities, the Real Estate Regulation Act, everyone will have to come forward now, take this as an example and do the right thing for people to get their future homes.
Mr. Vasani, this is a never before ordered court monitored demolition. exemplary, like I was mentioning to our viewers, but not without, the troubles that it is going to cause, and it has caused for 9 years, to people who are staying closer to the location. Since I happen to stay very close by, I've seen people up close and personal on what is the kind of worry, the unsurety that is there in their minds. People are covering their houses, their balconies, their plants, their AC units with plastic sheets. They do not know what are they going to return to. The houses that they have left as it is, will that remain like that or not? I know that the Resident Welfare Association of the neighboring societies are really helping out people, but this is something that nobody should have to go through. And despite spending so much of money on their dream houses.
100% Griya. I think this is a perfect example for everyone to understand, even real estate developers. I belong to the real estate developer community. Most of us are actually standing with every one of you because we know what is wrong, and every party involved in this particular thing which has got us to this situation, it's an implosion. Like, people are out of their houses. I'm sure people, I've just got in touch with a lot of people who were in and around that areas. They have shifted for a month. They shifted 15 days back, and they are planning to come only after like 15 to 30 days after everything settled down. So but again, we have to make sure, before getting into real estate regulation act, this is the right time for all the community to come together and do the right thing.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Vasani and Mr. Jain, for joining me on the broadcast. Let me now take it to my colleague, Maria, who has been covering all of that has been going in and around Supertech Twin Towers. Maria, we're talking about the neighboring societies, the kind of help that the resident welfare associations have given to people who do not have friends and families to actually go to, people who stay in Emerald Court and ATS Village. What is the word that you picked when it comes to the unsurety on ground?
Yes, so that anxiety and restlessness certainly is there, and there's great uncertainty as well. I mean, nobody really knows, no matter how controlled the blast will be or how controlled the demolition it will be, and the blasters, that is Edifice and Jet, they are certainly hoping that it will fall like a pack of cards. There will be a waterfall effect, but it's all subject to everything going as per the plan. But that is the reason why precautionary measures have been taken. If you look at those societies, that is actually a Supertech Emerald Court. We can see a lot of balconies covered. So that is the kind of precautionary measures that have been taken by those towers which are close to it, but the owners certainly realizing that they have to take their own precautions as well, because particularly to do with cloud dust. And 100 crore insurance in all is what Edifice is given to those neighboring buildings, that is ATS Village, the immediate tower that is next to it, roughly around 50 meters from the Sian and Axis Tower, which will be demolished shortly. And the sense is certainly that the cloud dust that spreads will be affecting the neighboring societies too. It will not just be stopping because you can't really control the wind speed and the velocity. Today, as I've been saying, it's unusually windy. It's not the usual wind that we see. There is more velocity in this wind, and that is the reason why green corridor becomes important. The medical emergency precautions that have been taken becomes crucial. The precaution in terms of fire brigade and fire, precautions that are being taken, that becomes